Hey guys, my brother invited some of his friends over for iftar and me and my mum split the workload. So let me show you guys some of the things I made for iftar and some of the things my mum made for iftar. I mainly took over the sides and the starters and my mum took over the main because they requested it. The first thing I made was the filling for the Hot Pockets. We're going for a Philly cheesesteak filling. My brother said this must be the trending thing in our house this Ramadan because we've made it so many times. This is my third filling that I'm trying out. So we've done chicken, we've done tuna, and today we're doing Philly cheesesteak. Let me know if you guys have any ideas of what else I could stuff in them. For the filling, I cooked some beef steak and then I took that off the pan, cooked some onions and peppers, added back in the beef steak, some salt and pepper and some chili flakes, and it's that simple. I took it off the heat to cool down before we're going to stuff them. I also wanted to make chicken puff pastry, so I seasoned the chicken, cooked it with some garlic, and then I added the peas, onions and peppers. I added some food colouring, mixed that, and then also took that off the heat. And then I went to make the fruit tray. I like to prepare this and just leave it out of the way and then I don't have to think about it the rest of the evening. I was going for some darker colours, so I added some blood oranges, some red grapes, mangoes. I added some plums, blueberries, strawberries, a pomegranate. There's honestly no method to this. I kind of just throw it all together and make it look cute. The kiwi and the passion fruit, they're just there to make the tray look pretty. But it came together so nice that I wrapped that up and I put it away. And then the fillings had cooled down, so I started working on the Hot Pockets. I got my white bread, rolled it out, added the cheesesteak filling, some cheese, and then I closed them shut, dipped it in some egg and panko, and then I set that all aside and we're going to fry it later, closer to iftar time. I added some cheese into the chicken filling and then I cut up my puff pastry and I started stuffing them. I had a vision to make these really cute bite-sized ones, but as you can see, I made two and I got really lazy, so I started making bigger ones. Again, I just put those aside and we're going to bake them later. And then I pull out my trusty honeycomb bread recipe that I use all the time and I started making my honeycomb bread. We mixed the first half of ingredients and we need to let that sit for 10 minutes. So whilst it was sitting, I just made the salad and I put that aside and I also made the chili sauce. I added some tomatoes into this because I know my brother's friends don't like spice that much. So I just wanted to make it a little bit milder. Put that into a bowl and I also put that aside and then I added the rest of the ingredients into the dough and I let that knead for another 15 minutes and then I covered that and let it double in size. For the honeycomb bread, I wanted to try something new by topping it with some vermicelli so it had some crunch to it. So I just broke that up in the bag, added some butter and I toasted that on the pan, added some cinnamon and then I set that aside for later. My mum was working on her biryani. She layered it, covered it with some onions and then she let that steam. I cut some mozzarella into small squares for the garlic pull-apart bread and I also cut some curry cheese into small squares for the honeycomb bread. My feet were finished at this point, so I went to the table, I stuffed all of them, added the egg wash and then I stuffed the next half with the curry cheese. I stuffed them both the same way. Half is just filled with mozzarella and half is filled with curry. I whipped up some double cream for some puff pastries and then I went to roll out the puff pastries. I cut some squares out of them and then I did some square indents in the middle. My mum was frying her muhammadi, which turned out perfect. I have the recipe for that posted on my account. Added some egg wash to the puff pastries and I put those in the oven. These rolls were stuffed with mozzarella. I pulled them out halfway and added the garlic butter on top and put them back in. Started frying the Hot Pockets and I made this mojito, which everyone loved. My mum also made lentil soup and we just started putting everything on the table and the boys started coming in. They prayed and they started digging in. We had some lentil soup, the garlic bread stuffed with mozzarella and had some chili flakes on top, lamb biryani, of course, lots of bananas, the chicken puff pastries. These puff pastries, I put chocolate in the center, topped with some cream, icing sugar and fresh fruit. I pulled out the honeycomb bread when there was 5 minutes left, topped with some condensed milk, that crushed vermicelli that we toasted earlier, and I put that back in the oven for the last 5 minutes. And when it came out, I put the rest of the condensed milk on top and I served that as well. I got to finally eat when all the boys left and I tried this and it turned out amazing. Let me know what you guys think of this bread and if there's anything you'd like the recipe for.